The government's duty is to protect the livelihoods of the people, and so because of this, the government should not impose environmental regulations on American industries. When we look at the recent election, it is clear that there is a race of people whose voices we've never heard. Far away from us, their voices simply never reached us. But ironically, the voices of these people are what our country hinges upon, the working class. Deep in the coal mines of Wyoming, they call to us here on the West Coast. They call for the removal of environmental regulations because their jobs are being taken away. But we simply dismiss them as an uneducated class of people who don't believe in science. And then we continue to bombard them with why they should believe in climate change. And then we repeat the same mantra. Sea levels are rising, carbon dioxide emissions are at an all-time high, and we will face great destruction in the near future. It's not really that simple. When they say they don't believe in climate change, what they're really saying is a plea for help. With each piece of legislation, they're losing jobs. Their families are losing jobs. Businesses that they depend on are leaving for other countries with less strict regulations, and their economy is failing. Life as they know it is now gone. We don't feel the consequences, but they do. According to a study done by Stephen Meyer, a professor in political science at MIT, a hefty amount of an individual industry's capital spending is used for pollution reduction control. In fact, nearly 25% of the spendings in the coal industry and 14% in the paper industry are a result of these regulations. Because of this, vital business opportunities would be stifled by even more regulations. Even more important, regulations simply cost more to businesses. For example, the Clean Air Act in 1970 cost factories $1 billion to implement and caused factories to close or relocate to other countries with weaker regulations due to the high cost of cleanup. This caused a loss of 600,000 jobs. Even today in the cement industry, it is projected that 18 of 100 plants in the United States will close down as a result of proposed stricter standards for sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, and consequently cause the loss of 13,000 jobs. According to the Portland Cement Association, close to 1/3 of the cement plants in the country are being shut off every other month. When we have such a large working class that depends on these jobs, it is simply unjust to remove all of these jobs at once because people must have their needs fulfilled first. Even though we live in the most liberal city in the West Coast, we need to remember those who work silently to provide for our needs, the ones who bear the consequences of our actions. If it comes down to this, the fact that we will be robbing people of their livelihoods and providing no other economic alternatives to these strict proposed regulations, then as Americans, we cannot support environmental legislation.